second. Sorry, I know I'm running like a couple of minutes behind. Let's see what this looks like. Oh shit. Hold up. Nope, wrong way. Wrong way. Hold up, my whole entire stand. Fucking A, dude. Hello, you guys. Hold on, I'm trying to get my tripod situated. And the whole thing just kind of fell apart in my hands for no reason. Alright, there. Why? Wow. Interesting. Alright. Hello and welcome. I'm just getting everything set up. Making sure everything is centered. Camera angles are good. I don't want any thing to be cockeyed or crooked. Does that look good? Let's see. Just a little bit. Hey, King Crimson, how are you? A little bit more up because I feel like that's cutting off my head. Shit. Alright. Hello, you guys. Welcome. We are going to do episode 13 of In My Opinion with Io. Let me just get all of this set up. You guys know that I do the audio. Let me make sure I'm in here with you guys. I am not running this off of my OBS right now, obviously, because I still want this set up for the YouTube videos and I need my mic for the audio. So I'm all right, I think. All right, good to hear. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for joining. I'm just getting everything set up here. Hi, Tyrion Snow, how are you? Straight up killers. Sit your ass down and eat dudes for dinner. There's food on my plate cause I'm the breadwinner. Is my ass getting fat cause I ain't getting thinner? Alright, let me turn this on. Let me get everything recorded and we will begin. Let me get my notes back to the beginning. Okay? I booked my flight to LA so I can meet you. Dope. Hey, Christian, how are you? Hello. Good to see you. I'm not running the OBS right now because I still, like I mentioned before, I still want this look for the YouTube video, for the podcast in general. And if I was going to do that, I would need more mics. And I just got this one, so. Okay, let us begin. Hello and welcome. This is episode 13 of In My Opinion with Io. I am your host, Io Zaymar. I was going to do episode 13. I was like, 13, scary, whatever, ghost stories and supernatural stuff. But so many things were brought to my attention recently. We're going back to school, you guys. We're going back to school. Coronavirus 2020, they're sending kids back to school and it's not good. It has not started off well. Okay. I was going to mention this last episode because we did talk about coronavirus, but I'm glad that I forgot because it's so perfect for right now. So we're still in lockdown over here. I know other places around the world are going into more stricter lockdowns. I read today that Australia has gone into like stage 4 lockdown or something. And with all of that, homelessness has increased because a lot of people, they're not getting the financial assistance they need. Things are closing down. Their job hasn't started back up. Whatever reason, they can't pay their rent. I took my dogs for a walk the other day around the corner. I haven't been around that way in a minute, but there is an elementary school behind my apartment. And as soon as I walked around the corner, I looked and I just see a bunch of people standing outside. And I was like, oh, maybe it's some kind of like school orientation. Maybe it's some kind of this. The closer I walked and got to these people, I realized they were all homeless. The elementary school behind my apartment is now being taken over by homeless people. The school is attached to a church. The church does food donations and helps out homeless people. So that's not a surprise there. But it's just, there's so many. There was so many that I thought there was a school function going on. And I'm worried. I'm worried because when school starts, where are the homeless people gonna go? Are they going to be there around all these elementary school kids? What? That's an issue to me. All right? And I know in the last episode I did mention briefly that what your child does in school is a direct reflection on you and your household, and I just want to clarify that a little bit, okay? Because it's not like the small things, okay? When we're going back to school and all that, like, we know they're gonna play with their mask. I play with my mask, you know, but it's like the bigger things. It's the bigger things like not wearing a mask properly. There has been enough time right now. Your child should at least know that a mask does in fact go over your nose and cover your whole nose and your mouth. Why? Because if you didn't know, your nose is attached to your lungs. Okay, we talked about the mucus. Where does the mucus come from? Like there's a spot directly in there. I can't point to it because it's in my face. It's attached. The nose, the mouth, the throat, the lungs, they're all attached together, okay? So if your child doesn't know how to wear their mask properly over their nose, with the amount of time we've been given to learn how to wear a mask, that is a direct reflection on you, okay, my friend? Don't treat your child like they're dumb, okay? Because children are actually highly intelligent. You just don't give them the chance. You don't. It's like, oh, they're a kid. They don't know any better. Well, then teach them better, okay? If you see your kids like wearing a mask down here, if your child is wearing a mask below their nose, I 100% guarantee that you are wearing your mask improperly or that you don't know how. That is how I feel about that, okay? Another thing, a direct reflection on you and your household is bullying. Okay, we're going back to school. Bullying is a huge issue, and I feel like it's going to be more prevalent now more than ever because we have so many things that have divided us as a country even more. The issue with the mask, the issue with coronavirus, we have the Black Lives Matter movement, we have all these things that went on this summer, and if your child was around you guys, you hate people, you hate masks, you don't believe in coronavirus, you don't your child is picking up on those things. And that, I won't be surprised if at least one child goes back to school and is like, this mask is a fucking government, blah, 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 blah. Black lives, da, 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 all lives, da, 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 blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to be surprised if your child brought up in this house of hate is sitting there bullying kids for wearing a mask or for being black. That won't surprise me at all. Let's see, we had a park here which was taken over by homeless people, and so many people complained. The police kicked them out, them all out, but now they're just behind the buildings everywhere, out of sight, out of mind. Wow. So that's over there in Kentucky. Thank you, Royce, for letting us. Homelessness is an issue everywhere. You guys, it's not just an issue in one place. There's not just a homeless population in one place. There's homeless people everywhere, and now they're taking over schools, they're taking over buildings, they're hiding, out of sight, out of mind. It's worrisome, to say the least. Okay? Like I said, your kids are going back to school. Are there going to be homeless people there? Are they going to be wearing their mask properly? Are they going to be bullying other kids? Because, you know, whether it's this racism, the virus, or whatever else has been politicized to divide us even more, it's going to come up. At least one child is going to, bring that up. If your child is a bully, I can't just assume that he was born a bully. He was raised by bullies. We are a direct reflection of the environment we were brought up in. FYI. So yes, if your child goes back to school, like the little things, like playing with your mask, that's not a reflection on you. Everyone is playing with their mask right now. A lot of people it's like, my child doesn't know how to wear a mask. Well, did you teach your child how to wear a mask? Well, come on, you guys. It's not good. It's not going good. The first school districts here in America have already opened, and guess what? Hours within day one, a school in Indiana, a student had tested positive. The student walked around the hallways, sat down in different classrooms, and now 12 to 14 other kids, and not including them, so about 15 kids here, are now going to be quarantined for the next 14 days. This isn't the only incident, okay? We have, sorry, I wrote this all down. In Corinth, Mississippi, within 4 days of opening, parents are receiving letters to let them know that someone tested positive, okay? We, again, have about the same, they went ahead and tried to trace it all back and see who came in contact with this kid, and now so many letters are going out telling, hey, your kid came in contact with this kid who tested positive for COVID-19, and now you gotta stay in quarantine, all right? It's ridiculous because, one, I don't understand this. We're going back to school, and we know that classrooms are already overcrowded. They're crowded as it is, okay? You got one teacher. Depending on where you are in the country, you got about 16 to 35 kids per class, all right? And how many classes are there? I don't know, depending on what school you go to, depending on how they run their system, you could have anywhere from 5 to 8 classes a day. So you got these kids circulating through the school, going through classrooms are overcrowded, okay? They're so overcrowded. In 2002, for example, in Florida, they wrote an amendment into their state constitution, 22 kids per class in elementary school, 25 kids per class in high school, because it was so overrun. I went to school in Florida during this time. I was there right before they passed it. I remember being in class with 30 kids, 40 kids. There was, some of the classrooms were too small. They had no room. Everyone was stacked on top of each other. The desks were so close together. A classroom is meant to hold that amount of people. It's not meant to hold that amount of people with a 6-foot distance in place. So I don't know how you're gonna do this. You're gonna have half the kids in the classroom. You're gonna send half the kids over here. You're gonna have all those kids in one class. I don't know how you're gonna do it with a 6 feet thing. You're gonna teach everyone in the gym. I don't fucking know, because obviously you got the schools opening up, and now coronavirus. You guys, kids are testing positive for coronavirus. It's not a surprise to me. Okay, not to mention the hallways. The hallways are tighter. There's a tighter fit than in the classroom. At my high school, there was about 1,000 kids per grade. That's about 4,000 kids in the whole entire school. Class lets out. You gotta walk to your next class. Guess what? If you take the wrong hallway, if you go over here, you get stuck behind the kids who are making out in the middle of whatever. You're late for class. You're late for class. You had the perfect amount of time to go from here to your locker, grab your books, but because there's 4,000 kids all of a sudden entering this hallway, everything's congested. I remember forgetting my books one time. I was like, you got to pre-plan ahead your locker visits. Why? Because the hallways are so crowded. I remember forgetting my books one day. I was like, fuck. I had to go and walk to my locker, which was in this like tiny little area, walk through all these kids. I'm sitting here shoulder checking people to get the fuck out of the way. All right. And then buses, transportation. I'm blinking. You can't hear me through the audio, but I'm blinking. I can't stop because what the fuck? So many kids rely on public transportation, taking a school bus to school and back home. All right. How are they gonna do that and do like a 6 feet social distancing thing? You guys, are they gonna go? Is the bus driver gonna spend their whole entire day just picking up kids, dropping them off, picking them up, dropping them off, picking them up, dropping them off until everyone in that one neighborhood made it to the fucking school? How are they gonna do that? I don't understand. Like, school buses, you guys. I gave my first hand job on a fucking school bus, in the back of the bus. I gave my first, that's all I'm gonna say about school buses, okay? And then when school lets out, in between that time, like school lets out and then the parents get home from work because now jobs are trying to open back up, some of them. In between the time, you know how many things we did trying to be such sneaky kids? Sneaky sneaks, okay? School got out, parents got home, all these things, sneaking, and then everyone, boom, dissipates, goes their separate ways so that they can be there. And, oh, hi, Mom and Dad. No, we were being such angels. We weren't doing anything. If you don't understand, you know, like coronavirus, what's going on, if you, what makes you think your kid's not gonna understand? Okay, Karen, if you're having a hard time not wearing a mask, all right, you're having a hard time not wearing a mask, you're sitting here throwing parties, doing your barbecue enemas or whatever the fuck you're doing when you Karens get together, don't expect your child to be a perfect angel because you set the example. Wink. Like I mentioned before, the school district opened up in Indiana. Hours within day one, you guys. The superintendent, this is what he had to say. The superintendent of the Greenfield Central Community School Corporation says, we knew it was a when, okay? We knew it was when, not if, like when. They were just waiting for it to happen. And he's like, I'm very shocked that it happened on day one. Are you really shocked that it happened on day one? Like when you knowingly knew that it would happen? Like I said, I went to a school with 4,000 kids, okay? I know that there's not many businesses opening up that have 4,000 employees. All the businesses that have like mass amount of people working and inflow, like coming in and out, like they're not open yet. Why? Because coronavirus. But now we're opening up schools. Coronavirus. I don't know. And then Corinth, their superintendent says, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because I know there are several other schools and school districts that have opened across the country and they experienced the same things, and maybe even a little earlier than we did. Congratulations, Corinth, Mississippi. Like, a lot of other school districts were going to open too, but they're waiting. Why? Because Indiana and Mississippi, you guys set the bar. You guys, I guess you guys were like the test subjects, the guinea pigs here. That I don't know, because now other school districts are like, maybe we could wait. Maybe we could wait to be doing that. But the same superintendent, Mississippi, they were like, well, that's the beauty of having both models in play, the online school and the real life school, in real life school. Like, we have both systems in play, so now we can continue learning whether or not you're home for COVID-19 or home for any other illness. Now a kid can't even enjoy being fucking homesick, okay? Now they can't even like sit and recover, no matter what illness they have. COVID-19, they got the flu, they got fucking pneumonia, they got tuberculosis, whatever. There's online school. No rest and relaxation for you. You're fucking sick. Online school. It's a win-win for everyone, right? These are mostly high schools that I've been mentioning, okay? Elementary school, primary school, preschool even, those things are a lot different because these kids are now they're learning. They're new to this world and they are learning. And one of the key things to help their development is that social interaction, and they have to be close. They learn better. They learn better when they're working together. They're learning because they're almost doing like a group learning, and they're learning together, and they're being taught in this environment together. Keeping them 6 feet apart can really play on their mental health, because social interaction is a huge part of our mental health when we're growing up, especially. That's when all of our stuff is developing, and we need that interaction, because otherwise we turn into like, you've seen adults. You guys have seen adults or heard the stories of children who were neglected, did not have any social interaction. How did they turn out? Okay, now we're trying to force this lifestyle onto these developing minds. I don't know if you guys heard, the YMCA camp in High Harbor this summer did their overnight camp as usual. 260 children and staff, after all of it, tested positive for COVID-19. Okay, this is after after 130 trainees, 120 staff members went to an orientation, did their whole thing, all the staff were required to wear a mask, okay? I'm telling you this because it's pertinent information here. This is something you keep that in your head for a second. Only the staff were required to wear a mask. Out of the 260 people who tested positive, 231 of them were people 17 and under. The campers, you guys, 231 campers. That means only 29 staff members were infected. The other 231 were the campers who were not required to wear a face mask. And they weren't required to keep a 6 feet social distancing thing. They were sitting here singing. You got your spit part. They're cheering. Spit, 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 spit everywhere, you guys. They're standing next to each other, kumbayaing, whatever the fuck it is. You got 231 out of the 260 people who tested positive. 231 of them are kids. Does a mask work? I don't fucking know. You tell me. They're saying that now children younger than 5 may host up to 100 times more of the virus in their upper respiratory tract than adults. Okay. With all of this being said, we still cannot look at a person and tell whether or not they have a compromised immune system. So now I'm wondering, out of those 231 kids, how many of them are going to die? How many? We don't know if the teachers, what health issues they have. They have health issues, they might not be able to teach. And now what's going to happen? You got other teachers. We're already short on teachers, you guys. We're short on teachers. We're short on substitute teachers. People don't really want to substitute. They didn't want to do it before coronavirus. Why the fuck are they going to want to do it now? We're asking our teachers to become all these different things. Health professional. They're already a fucking daycare system, okay? They're watching your kids all day. And now they gotta sit here and deal with this? A bunch of teachers have to go and start teaching other grades now. A bunch of teachers have to start doing the integrating, taking on a bigger workload, coming into more contact with more kids. Germs, they're spreading. They're germs. That's what they do. That's like their life purpose, is to fucking spread their germy seeds, okay? They're not just meant to just stay in one place. Otherwise this wouldn't be an issue. If germs and bacteria just stayed in one place and just kept to themselves, this wouldn't be an issue, you guys. But they don't. And so we're here now. And there's still a lot of people who don't think this is real. How many more people need to be turned into memes? How many more people need to be their picture next to a quote of them saying, I don't fucking believe in this coronavirus, I'm not wearing a mask? How many people, dead people, they're dead, okay? They're fucking dead. They died of coronavirus and now their name is plastered next to some tweet or Facebook thing. That's how they're going to be remembered in this world. How many more of those people do we need? How many? We got adults here. We got kids here. How many kids? How many kids need to be turned into a fucking meme because their parents don't believe in this? It's like, how many anti-vaxxer children need to get the fucking measles and cause a fucking measles outbreak before people are like, oh, hey, maybe vaccines do fucking work. And I think it's ridiculous because a lot of those anti-vaxxers, guess what? You were vaccinated. You were fucking vaccinated. How the fuck are you still alive? You never got the measles. Why? Because you were fucking vaccinated. And now your kid has the measles and you're like, I wonder what it could, why, how, nah, 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 nah. Don't wonder these things. My brain is like fucking exploding all over the place. I can't even fathom what it would be like to be in your head right now. It's a little bit easier to reopen the country, to start reopening jobs, because I said it before, there's not a lot of jobs out there where you got 4,000 employees crammed into a fucking small room working together. There's not a lot of places like that. They are most likely closed right now, if that's the case, or they are working from home right now, if that's the case. If we're going back to school and we have both of these like systems in play, why don't we keep the kids home who have access to a fucking computer? The classroom size would be smaller. You could do that 6 feet distancing rule. But that's not what's happening here. No, it's not. You're just sending everyone back to school. Back to school. Back to school. To prove to... What the fuck is going on, you guys? Like, seriously? I'm gonna go back up here into the chat. Is it Sunday already? Yes, Black Super, it is. Bullying will never stop as problematic families will continue to exist. This is true. This is true because we're all people. We're all working from different levels of consciousness here. With that being said, we will probably never see eye to eye, you guys. But we are supposed to be evolving as a species. And so hopefully we can at least evolve enough to understand that we do have these differences and not come to at least some kind of physical altercation, to learn how to just walk away. All right, I see you there. I see you there. Because I see people getting threats. I watch these videos online. People get death threats for having a different opinion. Now, I'm not sitting here giving death threats to anyone. I understand you have your different opinions. I get it, okay? Like I said in the last episode, don't think you have this genius thought though. If you're contradicting your own thoughts, okay? I don't believe this virus is real, but I understand it affects people. If you don't think it's real, then you wouldn't think it affected people. Okay. Hello, and welcome everyone. Hi. Today is your last day. Oh, well, let's give Apocalypse a shout out because he has joined the National Guard and he is about to go into basic training. Godspeed, my friend. I don't think kids usually do that. They aren't that dumb to do that in these times, at least. You don't know. You don't know. Because if their parent is that dumb to do that, there is a chance that the child will be that dumb to do that. What happened on day one? In case you missed it, day one, like I said, they opened these school districts back up, and coronavirus. They already had to do an emergency protocol day one, okay? They had to go back, retrace this kid's steps. Where did he go? Who did he come into close contact with? They're becoming investigators now, and they gotta tell at least 12 to 14 kids, like 12 to 14. We think he came into contact with 12 to 14 kids. If you missed that one kid who he was like secretly making out with in the bathroom, like coronavirus. All right? Because there are a lot of people who are asymptomatic. It's not even just with coronavirus. There are people who are asymptomatic for any kind of virus, any kind of bacteria. In case you guys don't know, herpes, 1 out of 3 people have herpes, okay? Or even 1 out of 2 people, because last year at Coachella, I guess herpes rate went up, and herpes is a virus, okay? It's a virus. It is related to the chickenpox and shingles. They're all in a family together. They're all related. They're all kind of related. Most likely, if you get chickenpox, your immune system, it could sit there and harbor, like sit there and wait in your body until one day it wants to manifest as herpes. Like, you're more susceptible to getting those different viruses in that family. But the thing is here, it's very hard to test for herpes, because you have to be having like when I have herpes, you guys. I got herpes about 10 years ago. I woke up to some guy having sex with me and I got herpes. That's what happened, okay? And a lot has changed, but there hasn't been like significant change. Now they can at least test my blood when I'm having an outbreak. They can test it. I'm having an outbreak. If I'm not having an outbreak, it's harder to test because you don't have as much of the virus detectable in your body. And the thing is that a lot of people are asymptomatic. They don't get any symptoms of herpes, but they are still able to give herpes to people. So they're sitting here, they think they don't have it, and guess what? Now this person has herpes. Now this person has, they don't know where they got it from. Why? Because you got this guy who's asymptomatic here who has no freaking idea that he has herpes, giving it out to people. Okay? Coronavirus is also a virus. People are asymptomatic. They're walking around. They don't even know that they have it. And now they're coming into contact with all these people. One of these people could have a compromised immune system. Guess what? They're dead. They're dead because this guy is walking around asymptomatic. He's just a freaking ticking time bomb. He's a freaking coronavirus killer here. This virus screwed up a lot. Yes, it's crazy. Wow, ridiculous. Isn't COVID affecting 50 and behave only with pre-existing conditions? No, COVID can affect anybody. Everybody has an immune system, okay? It can affect anybody with an immune system. People who have compromised immune systems are usually people who are 50 and above, because as you get older, your immune system breaks down. Why? Because your whole entire body is breaking down. Why? Because we're dying. We don't live forever. I'm sorry, you guys. It's the cold hard truth is everybody dies. We are so fortunate to be able to live to 50 and above. But the thing is our body is slowly breaking down. It's decaying. We have cells in our body, they break down. We start producing less and less cells. We stop regenerating, essentially. But anybody could have a compromised immune system. Anyone. An infant to 100 years old. It could affect literally anybody. And like I said, people are asymptomatic. That means they have this virus now in their body. Their immune system is well enough to prevent any symptoms from showing up with them, but it isn't well enough to prevent them from actually having the virus. Now they're going and they spread it around. And we don't know. We don't know just by looking at somebody who has a compromised immune system and who doesn't. Okay? So we have to be careful. We have to be careful with these things. Another thing that a lot of people don't know, I'm going to bring back herpes again. This is what my doctor told me. If I'm having an outbreak, I shouldn't even be near kids or senior citizens. Why? Because me just having an outbreak and just standing close to one of those people, I could cause a child to have chicken pox. I could cause an older person to have an outbreak of shingles. And I know this is a fact because in college I had a teacher who had shingles. And every time he would kind of announce it to the class because he wouldn't be feeling good. He'd be like, you guys, my shingles is acting up today. Every time he would have a shingles outbreak, I would have an outbreak. I would have an outbreak just by being close to him. I never even touched him. But I would have an outbreak just by being close to him. And anytime I had an outbreak, it seemed like a couple of days later or a week later, my teacher was having issues with his shingles. So whenever I had an outbreak, I stayed home because I didn't want to affect my teacher. Viruses are real, you guys. Scientists, virologists, they dedicate their lives to studying these things and figuring them out. And there are a lot of people, like I mentioned last week, on their Facebook. Got my Facebook science degree, Virus isn't real. Scientists are wrong. People who have been doing this their whole entire life are wrong because I'm a Facebook scientist and I know the truth. The truth is Bill Gates is going to inject us all with microchips and 5G and all da. You guys. Wow, as if being a teacher wasn't hard enough. For real. I have a lot of friends who are teachers right now, and they're getting a lot of backlash from parents because the parents want to go to work. I gotta have a place for my kids to go. They need to go back to school because I gotta go back to work. And I understand that. Not everyone can afford a babysitter. Not everyone has a tutor. But maybe the people who are better off can keep their kids home. Do that online school. Bring in a tutor. Okay? People who have computers. Middle class people. Get your kids set up with their online school and all of this other stuff. Kids who don't have computers or access to that, go ahead. It's not like go ahead, expose them to the coronavirus and let all the poor kids die. No, but we have now narrowed it down to where we can do we could possibly do a 6-foot distancing thing and have both systems in play here, but having less kids in the classroom to prevent the spread that much further. Because yeah, even if a kid is out of the classroom, there's a chance that they could get it. They could get it just by being home. So I'm going to be on the computer all day doing my online class, but I'm school at home, I'm going to go hang out with my friends. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go party over here. But just the less people that gather together, the less it spreads, you guys. Washing your hands. It is so easy to prevent the spread of herpes because herpes is a virus. It affects one nerve ending in your body, okay? So it attaches itself to that one nerve ending in your body. It will only affect areas on your outer body that are connected to this one nerve ending. I could spread it to different parts of my body. I know people who have gotten herpes in their eye. Okay? I don't want herpes in my fucking eye. I could spread it to different parts of my body. If I touch it, all I have to do is wash my hands. Wash my hands. Prevent the spread. Wash your hands. Prevent the spread. Put on a mask. It prevents the spread. We know this because out of the 260 people at the YMCA camp this summer, 231 of them were kids. And the kids were not required to wear a face mask or keep a 6-foot distancing thing. Only the staff members were required to wear a face mask. So yeah, I think that wearing a mask does help. Okay, it definitely helps during surgery. It's helped all of these years when a surgeon's in there working on your inner organs, not breathing getting their spit inside of you, okay? I'm pretty sure if you sat there and you're like, no, I'm going in for my surgery, please do not wear a mask while you do that because I don't believe in them. I don't think it works. I guarantee you will leave with an infection. You won't leave, actually. You'll have to stay in the fucking hospital because you got an infection. Call it the lame virus. Yeah, I dated a girl for a while who knew she had herpes and didn't tell me until after the first time we had sex. That ended right there. Luckily, I got tested and don't have it, but I know symptoms may not show up for a long time. Exactly. Viruses can stay dormant. They think that the coronavirus can last in your mucous membranes for up to 2 weeks, but viruses can stay dormant in the body. Like chickenpox is a virus in the same family as herpes and shingles. It could stay dormant. It could resurface as something else. It could mutate. It could do the things that viruses do. I'm sorry that happened to you. There are a lot of people out there who don't think that telling somebody that they have herpes is a good idea for whatever reason. I know when I got it, my friends were like, oh, you don't have to tell them right away. You know, you're not dating them. I'm like, no, I do have to tell them immediately before we even kiss because that's a person, okay? I respect their life. I want them to know so that they can make their own decision. If they don't feel comfortable being around me, I want them to make that decision for themselves. I don't want to force something on them and surprise them later. And if I was trying to, you know, who knows, eventually if I were trying to be in a serious relationship with them, wouldn't it be better to tell them straight up right away instead of later down the line and surprise? I don't get that. I know a lot of guys too who just refuse to tell people, guys, women, whatever it is, they refuse to tell people because they're embarrassed. There are 7 billion people in the world. I have never really gotten any negative backlash ever telling anybody about it. I haven't. Yeah. Straight up honest communication. Why? Because I respect myself. I respect the other person. And this shouldn't just be with herpes or something that's sexual or something. This should be with everything. Respect that other person. Yeah, I could be sick. Yes, I have the flu. Yes, I have coronavirus. Yes, I have meningitis. Yes, I have tuberculosis. Whatever it is you have, respect the people around you. Do I want to get somebody else sick? No, I don't. I warn people first. Like, hey, this is, you know, I got meningitis. I don't think it's good to hang out. You want to hang out with me? That's up to them now. Are they going to take the risk? Are they sitting here willing, like, oh yeah, dude, no, I'm going to hang out with you. You got tuberculosis, you got your meningitis. I'll still hang out with you because I'm, you know, that's what I want to do. If you go around and you don't tell people these things, like, oh, I got the flu. Even the flu, we know that the flu is a very dangerous virus here, okay? You got the flu, still respect people enough to tell them, hey, I'm sick, I got the flu. Why? Because you don't know who they're going to be bringing those flu germs around. If somebody knows, like, oh, this person's got the flu, maybe I should stay away from them because I am going to go visit my grandmother in the hospital, you know, this week, and I don't want her to get any complications. Respect people, dude. Those are living beings. Yeah, I know. You got yourself to worry about, but they have themselves to worry about too. And if we're just sitting here, no communication, no honesty, bum, 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 all of our germs are spreading. Everyone is getting herpes. That's what happened at Coachella last year. Let me see. They found a rare gene anomaly with young men that gets fucked by corona. I know that they're even now coming out with a thing about people who have testosterone, testicular cancer, people who have that, a low T count. The coronavirus affects them differently. They're doing all this research because new things are coming up, because this is a new thing here, you guys, and all of our answers aren't going to be instantaneous as much as we'd love them to be. Good to see that we're discussing science today. Yes. Is it type 1 or type 2? Spassky, I can't freaking remember. This was like so long ago. I'm pretty sure it's type 2. Oh wow, I didn't know they could trigger off each other. Yeah, viruses are weird. Viruses, they work in mysterious ways, and every virus is different, but kind of the same in the fact that they do spread. They spread and they can stay dormant and they can resurface. I think that's why a lot of people who tested positive, then tested negative, and then tested positive again, I believe that the coronavirus stayed dormant. Like one little virus somewhere in there was just like, oh, I'm gonna stay dormant over here, just be asleep for a second, and then boom, something triggered it to wake back up. I am confused. Why were those correlated? Is a herpes outbreak bad, or does it get better over time as your body developed its own antibodies to suppress it? The first initial outbreak is the worst because it's the most painful, but it stays with you for life. It doesn't get better. It doesn't really get worse. I mean, it does get worse if you don't take care of it and you're spreading it all over your body. You don't wash your hands or anything. Yeah, that will get freaking terrible. Like I said, I've known people who have gotten it in their eyes because somebody had a cold sore. If you guys don't know, cold sores, that's herpes, all right? Cold sores, herpes. Somebody's mother-in-law gave them a kiss on the cheek while they had a cold sore. They got herpes in their eyes. And the eye on the cheek that it was like close to. I give you my kiss with my cold sore. Now you got herpes in your fucking eye. I'm confused. I'm sort of hoping you can translate this. I feel like I'm not prepared for this class. I forgot my homework. I think there's a 5-minute. I'm going back and reading the chat. I just want to get everything out and then come back here and read your guys' thoughts. I mean, who would say no to hanging out with you? Thank you so much. Did someone die or something? What is going on? No. Coachella sounds like a good time. It's a good time. And the thing is, there's people out there who are embarrassed. They don't openly communicate. They're not telling people. You got your people who are asymptomatic, who don't even know. I know I'm talking about herpes virus here because it's a virus, you guys. It's a virus just like coronavirus. People are asymptomatic. They have herpes. They can spread herpes to anybody. They don't have any symptoms. People who have coronavirus, who are asymptomatic, have no symptoms, can give coronavirus to anybody. And they could end up killing people because of it. Because we don't know who has a compromised immune system. We can't just look at someone. I can't see your insides. I don't have x-ray vision. I don't know what's going on with your immune system. A low T count is just an excuse to get some tests. Testosterone is awesome. Yeah, well, unfortunately, people do have a low T count. And, a high T count, I think, is the one. If it's high, then you got the cancer. If it's low, then you're good. I don't, like I said, I try to learn about as many things as possible. So if I forget a bit of information, please just go and look it up, what I'm talking about. Testosterone cancer is a real thing. And I was reading this morning because my friend has testosterone cancer and they've been taking care of it really well. By using actually CBD. They went in for years to get chemo and all these different treatments and nothing really was working. And they were like, what can I do? And they were so desperate. They were like, you know what, I'll try CBD. They were against it. And now they're all for it because their T count is so close to zero. It looks like they almost don't even have cancer. And the second that they stop taking it, their T count goes up. Or I can't remember. Is it high that's good or is it low that's good? Let's look it up right here. T count. Not T countries. I wrote count. Don't. What is the normal T cell count? Should be between 500 and 1600. What are T cells in the body? The white blood cells. That is an essential part of the immune system. T cells are one of two primary types of lymphocytes, B cells being the second type that determines the specificity of immune response to antigens, foreign substances in the body. So I guess we want more T cells. That's what we want. Okay? We want the T cells. So they've got it figured out with their issues. So my foot is falling asleep. Sorry. We have 4 minutes left here on the show. I will come back later. I don't really understand this combo. Okay. Testicular cancer, yes, not testosterone cancer, yes. Let me go and look this up really quick because I don't know anything about testicular cancer, you guys. I just know that my friend has it, and they've gotten to the point where their doctor is like, at first, when they first got it, their doctor was like, wow, you are one of the worst cases I have ever seen, ever. And I was like, whoa, let me look you up, my friend, because they did post about this today. Testosterone is a key hormone in the context of COVID-19. Testosterone may increase your COVID-19 complication risks, is the thing that they were. Low testosterone may impair your immune system response in men with COVID-19. As men, you're supposed to have testosterone. If you don't, there could be severe complications. It weakens your immune system, obviously. Yeah. So we don't know just by looking at people who has a compromised immune system and who doesn't. Who has testicular cancer and who doesn't. Can I protect you from COVID-19? I'm not sure. Yeah, for testicular cancer, they typically remove the testicle, which is scary for males. Yeah. But we don't know. But now school's going back in session. And, coronavirus, it's a thing. It's affecting us today. And how many children have to die? How many children have to die? Because when I was going to school, there were kids with compromised immune systems. We watched the Charlie Brown special on leukemia because kids get leukemia, kids can get cancer, kids can get any type of disease that's out there. They're not just for adults. Diseases are just not for adults. They're for anyone with an immune system, and we all have one. All right, you guys, I got 30 seconds left. Look through the chat. Yes, by wearing a mask. You can protect me by wearing a mask. Yes. That is all the questions in the chat. I want you guys to have a great, safe rest of your weekend. I love you so much. Stay hydrated. Wash your hands. I gotta save this audio right here. I did have to end it because I only record the audio for about an hour. But yeah, you guys, this stuff is real. Okay? We're going back to school now, and I'm scared. I'm scared because the children are our future. And already they're getting sick. They're spreading the germs. Students are being sent home from school. People are already doing emergency protocols. People are already being sent home in quarantine. I thought it was so funny, okay? I did not mention this in the show, but I thought it was so funny. I wrote this down. I read the thing about Corinth, Mississippi and their school district. from a news article. The reporter, where did I write this? Because it fucking blew my mind. The person, the author of the article for this news channel wrote down, anyone who is in quarantined, not even in quarantined, anyone who is in quarantined will not be allowed to attend school or any school activities. Like, no fucking shit, dude. Like, that's what is, like... I love that they had to kind of define the word quarantine there. Like, anyone who's in quarantine will not be allowed to attend school. Like, no fucking shit. That you're in quarantine. That's what fucking happens. That's the whole point of quarantine, was to get you out of school and you can't fucking be there. I heard Caucasians have more depression and stress than black people. Yeah, what does that have to do anything? They was born with it. I'm just saying black people are the chosen children. Depression can affect anybody, you guys. I think just, I don't know. I'm not gonna talk about this. Alright, so I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna take my break here, and then we're gonna go ahead and do the AMA. We can talk about the stuff that we talked about in here, or we can just keep it chill. Cause yeah, I'm done with this podcast. You guys are stressing me out, okay? We're going back to school. I'm fucking stressed out about it. I'm stressed out about it because I go behind my house and I see that homeless people have taken over the elementary school. Great. Okay, then I open up my phone and all I see are articles about school districts opening, and you got kids at the YMCA, 231 cases. Out of the 260, 231 of them are kids. Kids have immune systems. Kids can die. They die all the time, you guys. I just don't understand. Is your job more important than your child? Like, yeah, your job, you feed your child. There has to be something. There has to literally be something else that we can do here besides sending all of these kids back to school at once. There has to be something else. Sometimes stress is a good thing. It is a signal that we need to do something different. Yeah, don't stress, just pay attention when you go back to school. I don't have to go back to school, thank God. I fucking hate school, you guys. Me personally, like, I understand school is great because education is essential, but personally growing up, I hated going to school. I skipped school all the time. Like, my sophomore and junior year of high school, I was like never at school. I went and I showed up for band, and that was the only class I showed up for, and my band teacher knew it. He was like, did I just see you walk into school right now? And I was like, yeah, and you're about to see me walk the fuck out as soon as your class is over, dude. Like, I don't want to be here. But yes, I will be back for the AMA. Gonna take my dogs out, going to eat some lunch, and I will be back. And we will talk. And it will be, you know, not about coronavirus or herpes or school, or unless you guys want to talk about that stuff, right? But I love you guys, and be safe. I will see you in, what time is it? 1:44. I know my schedule says 2, I think. Maybe 2:15. By 2, in between 2 and 2:15, so in about like 15-30 minutes, I will be back on. I will see you then. Right? Bye, you guys.